Nice one, Hemming. Thank you very much. I have audio now. Schoolboy area to the streams. I do apologise for that. Anyway, like I said at the beginning, and you didn't hear, welcome to the FPL Focus Shared. Me, Livesey Lovesit. I have got back from holiday. I am back with my computer. I do have permission from the wife, so I have some new subscribers to go and buy a new processor. So the jumping that you might be experiencing now, hopefully will disappear as time goes on. So happy days. So I think I've got audio now. If you could just confirm that for me, Emin, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself. But yeah, I've got Reece James as well, mate. So what's his fixtures looking like? Let's have a look and see what the fixtures are looking like on the FDR rating. See, in terms of offence, Chelsea have got good fixtures going forward, and let's be honest, I think Reece James has got those fixtures going forward. I didn't get to see that game today, so I'm not entirely sure, but it looks like, I mean, obviously until today's game, that the fixtures that they've got coming up in defence, certainly over the next 8 game weeks, they've got some really good ones. Leicester, certainly not. Thank you very much. Can you shout out Tessa Hemming? Of course, Tessa. Thanks for having you on, love. Absolutely. Come and join the league. Link is in the description below. More the merrier. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just saying, I think the fixtures for Chelsea are not bad going forward. I think Reece James's sort of fixtures, let's go and have a look and see how he's been performing. If we have a look in the defenders, if we have a look and see every 90 minutes for the season, per 90 minutes for the season so far. Let's hide the low minute players. And see, oh, no one. What's that all about? Maybe totals. Maybe it's just a bit too early for that. Oh, that's a bit bizarre. What have I done there? First start. Defenders. Full price range. Refresh it. Okay, so what are attackers? I just want the defenders. There we go. Right, so top of our points, Saliba. What a lovely goal by him, by the way, left-footed. That was really nice to see. I don't think, listening to his teammates, that that is something that is going to be ongoing for him. I mean, did you see Zinchenko with his head in his hands? Like, couldn't believe he actually scored like that. Awesome stuff. But great goal. So if you've taken a punt on Saliba, great, you know, defence. Arsenal looking like one of the stronger defences in the league at the moment. Zinchenko certainly on my radar at the moment. 19 points. I mean, he's looking very comfortable. And Arsenal are looking, dare I say it, Arsenal are looking like the Arsenal of old. Like, I've not seen this, you know, for a while, the way they seem to be playing, but the Mikel Arteta influence is definitely coming through. You know, the way he likes to play. I'm a bit gutted now that when the Carlo Ancelotti and Mikel Arteta managers were up for grabs, that we ended up getting Carlo Ancelotti, if I'm going to be totally honest. I'm just going to move this chair down a bit because I feel like I'm stretching. Moving forward, there we go. That's a bit better, a little bit more comfy. There we go, that's better. I was obviously sat back before I went away. So yeah, so they've had a good, he's had where's James? In terms of expected assists, surely we're going to expect James to be right up there. Alexander-Arnold, still no returns, but yes, he's right up there. Nico Williams, 0.72. Perisic, right. This is where I think I might need... this is my initial knee-jerk sort of like Sunday surgery reaction, is Perisic is the man I need in my team. However, I am not going to rush into it because the prices are looking like they're going to be holding for a good couple of days yet. So I'm going to do some, take me time. There's no rush for it whatsoever. And in all honesty, I'm looking at Zinchenko, I think, as well. That's expected assist, expected goals. Let's have a look and see. That's surely James is going to be high up on this one. Yes, he's right up here. Sessegnon, I don't think he's going to be started. Nico Williams, the £4 million defender. right up there with his creative stats. Brennan Johnson with his first goal as well, so he's off and running now too. Reece James, he's up there with both. Expected points so far this season, Zinchenko. Ben Davies, Veltman, look at this Saliba, so he's outperforming. Where's Reece James come in this? He's not. Gabriel. He's there 12. His expected points, he's got 15, so he's outperforming what he's sort of expected in there. Who's creating the most big chances? Perisic. Look, he's not even played the full season yet. Wow. Shots. Alexander-Arnold, look there with 4. Nico Williams, 8 shots, 3 on target, 4 inside the box. He had a screamer of a shot yesterday, got to be honest. I was a little bit worried at Goodison Park. Luckily, we managed to come back and get a 1-1 draw, and we're up and running for us. Right, let's go back and have another look at my team then. So, I'm happy with James, put it that way. He's certainly not somebody I think I need to be moving on. If you look at his sort of history, last couple of weeks, he's returned the first couple of weeks for a 7.7 points, so 1 point this week. And that's even in a bad, like you're saying, a bad defence, Tessa. So for me, Reece James is a hold. I think he's got the potential to deliver week in, week out, and on a number of routes to deliver as well at this minute in time. Maybe when I've seen the game a bit more, I might think differently as the game goes on. But right here, right now, that is my thought. For me, I've got other things to sort of like be getting on with anyway. Obviously, Alexander-Arnold not played yet. Cancelo, 0-pointer after that cracking game at St James's Park today. Don't Newcastle look good? Don't they? Let's see what's going on, because they have they started off. I remember the first 5 fixtures. Can we go and have a look at their fixtures? Their first 5 fixtures were looking pretty difficult, because they had Man City obviously today, but then they managed to score 3 with Wilson getting on the end of a couple of goals there as well. So Maximan providing a couple. So happy days for Newcastle players. Certainly some people to be watching there. And one of the things I want to do during the stream tonight is build up a watch list. Maybe not just a watch list for me, but a watch list for us all to sort of like get on with. So feel free to comment on any of the games. I'm going to sort of go through them one by one, share what I've got, and see what we can build up, and then build a list. And if that's the sort of thing you're interested in, stick around. It's not going to be as fast-paced maybe as usual. It's Sunday night. My first time doing the Sunday surgery stream. Got myself a coffee to sort of keep going. And yeah, we'll discuss things as we go. So yeah, please put your questions in the chat, and I'll see if I can get on and answer a couple as we go. But so I've got Liverpool to play tomorrow. I am a bit worried about Mo Salah now being the captain for probably 50% of teams, I reckon, close to anyway. So I'm a bit concerned about that, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. I've made my choices. De Bruyne's returned, and that is what I'm hoping for. Now, here's my big concern. Let's put this in list view. So, my points so far. Ward, 11. How many points has he got so far? Can we see on here? Minutes played. Oh, God. Who's played? Bonus points, 7. So, 7. Why can't I see the points? That's a bit rubbish. Is it just on the week? I want for the whole lot. How many have they got? He's not got 1 point overall, has he? Where's the form? It's different on the app. Right, let's just go back to the pitch view. Let's go and see how if we click on the player, let's see view information. So I've had Nathan Patterson in my team, and basically, Everton's fixtures are not looking good whatsoever. They've got a couple of away fixtures now, and as much as I like to get behind my team, we're just not good away from home. Brentford are looking okay. Obviously, they didn't do as well today up against Fulham, but they're still scoring goals. Tony's obviously looking like he's on fire. To be fair, Wiss has come back with an assist there as well. So I am looking to move out Nathan Patterson. Nico Williams, as we've just seen, is doing pretty good. And I think I want to bring in Ivan Perisic from Tottenham Hotspur for him this week. That's my gut reaction move moving this week forward. I've got, if I go on to transfers, I've got 1.9 in the bank, which is not burning a hole, shall we say, because I had to move Darwin out last week, and I was just going to try and sit on it for a few weeks, like to bring it back in. But what are Liverpool's fixtures like? Let's have a look, actually, because before I commit to this. So Liverpool's, we'll go offensive fixtures. I'm looking, we've got another 2 game weeks, 1-2. So then Núñez is due back. Everton, Wolves, Chelsea, Brighton, Arsenal. I'm not sure they're the totally best fixtures, to be honest with you. I've got Tony, Leeds, Southampton, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Newcastle. I think they're pretty good fixtures. Arsenal's obviously a tough one. Newcastle's obviously looking tough as well. Is that at home or is that away? Let's have a look. Let's just make that slightly. Newcastle away. So that's a pretty tough fixture. So yeah, I'm not going to sit on that money and wait for Darwin Núñez. Who knows? Might get injured. It's all about the here. We've got to look to the future, and he will be a player I will look to get back into my team. Come when he's available again. But right now, I think I need to use those funds. 1.9 million. It's sat in the bank, and I need to take one of these £4 million defenders out. The other option I'm seriously considering, because he can just sit on the bench, is and I've got Andreas to come in, so maybe not quite so urgent, but I think my concern, my reason for wanting to do this is I can bring in, if I show you, remove player, I can bring in Perisic because he's currently on the 5.4. And what that leaves me is 0.5 in the bank. And this is what I'm thinking, you see, because I'm just not happy with my £4 million goalkeeper. If I'm going to be totally honest, I know it's an enabler and it's, hopefully giving me better players in the rest of the squad. But I'm just not happy with him in goal as a weekly basis. If we look at the information for him, history, 1.3 points over 3 weeks, 8 goals conceded. Fixtures, we've got Chelsea next, Man United, Brighton, Aston Villa, Tottenham. They look a bit better after that, but to be honest, they look like they're almost in free fall. I've got Brendan Rodgers down as one of the first to be sacked this season. For me, I just don't see what is going on there, to be honest with you. Fofana, I think, is a big problem. They just need to sell him, move on. That's really not helping them at all. So, oh yeah. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I'll have my rest of my team done. If you want to, if I know there's somebody watching, if you want to send your team and ask any questions, you can send it to me on Twitter or anything like that. I can have a look, ask any questions. If you're in the league, I'll be able to see that as well. Just as we're talking about the league, actually, I'll have a quick look and see who's starting off well so far. Manager of the week, Gary Evans. I think this is quite telling, actually, on 50 points. He's doing well, up 7 places. Obviously, this isn't final standings. That big Liverpool-Man United game to go tomorrow. But something I wanted to share with you is the game week points this week. I'm disappointed on the 40, but there's not that many above 40, to be honest with you. And I've just been on Twitter and I've seen some excellent sort of FPL players, experts, people who run channels posting scores of 25, 30, etc., etc. So I don't think this is going to be one of those high-scoring game weeks. As you can see, the average is 38 at the moment. Interested to see. Team of the week currently stands at Saliba, Perisic, Veltman, Bernardo. I mean, I don't see all of these players, in all honesty, Perisic might be in a few teams, but I don't think they're heavily owned. 15.9%. A lot of people have gone and jumped on Rodrigo after his start, so maybe, you know, it's somebody certainly to consider. Look at these. Odegaard. He's had a great week, hasn't he? What's his season been like? 15, 13, 7. If you had Rodrigo at the start of the season, then I am like, take my hat off to you. Well done, like, you know, because he wasn't in my consideration, to be honest with you. But he's absolutely smashing it. Absolutely smashing it there, with Bamford out injured. So, oh, hi, his army. How you doing? Your thoughts on Dalot to Saliba or Neto to Gundogan Rodri? One free transfer going into game week 4. Perhaps I should take a -4. Reluctant to do it. Now, I am notoriously bad at taking hits, so it's not something I would advise, to be honest with you, at this stage of the season, unless it's like, you know, you've got an injury and it's desperate. But Dalot to Saliba, I think Man United look terrible. For me, I wouldn't be having Dalot in my team, so that is somebody certainly to get rid of. Saliba's looking good. If it's the clean sheet you're going for, then absolutely. And I think he's been doing well on some of the bonus. Let's have a look and see where he's been getting his points. I mean, he had a -1, didn't he? And an 8, so that is potential. I mean, it was an own goal, if I remember rightly. Yes, it was. But he's getting the clean sheets. He's obviously scored at the weekend as well. But that is, you know, the rarity, I think. But, you know, I think Arsenal have got arguably the strongest defence this season. I don't see them conceding 2 at home all the time. They've kept 2 clean sheets away from home, which is you know, not the easiest to do. I think it's a toss-up between him and Ben White, to be honest with you, at 4.5 million. I mean, if it was me and you could stretch to it, I think Zinchenko's the one to go for from Arsenal. Nothing new there, I don't think. But for me, I'm really interested in Ivan Perisic having 2 Arsenal players already. I'm loath to try the triple up. Although they are looking really, really good, as I referred to earlier. Neto to Gundogan or Rodrigo. Well, we've just looked at Rodrigo and how well he's been doing. Gundogan, obviously, let's have a quick look and see. Let's go and see some of these stats for the midfielders. So we're looking at the less than 7 million. Stats, obviously, this website here, fantasyfootballhub.co.uk, which I'm a subscriber for. There is a link in the description below. As we can see here, just on points alone, Rodrigo is top of the points pile. Absolutely smashing it for players under the 7 million. In fact, I think if we went as high as sort of like 8 million, he's probably going to be, he could well be at the top anyway, but yeah, up to 8 million. I like the look of Pascal Gross this season. Let's have a look. He's been doing expected assist 0.82. He's playing in a more advanced position. Oh, you benched Harrison for Williams, mate. Honestly, I feel for you. I feel your pain, Matthew. Honestly, there's just no need. It's been a funny one, hasn't it, this weekend? What did he get? Was it 13 points I just seen? And then Rodrigo as well, smashing it. Nobody, I think, was saying Leeds at the beginning of this season, but that's what this stream's going to be all about. I want to be looking at teams. I want to be getting information and, like, let's share it together. I can see, Matthew, you're a Leicester fan, mate. I've just been talking about Ward. What do you think about Ward? Is he somebody that we should be persevering with because he's a good enabler, or the Leicester just look like they're conceding like at every sort of go, mate? Let us know. So just to answer your question, Army, Dalot to Saliba or Neto to Gundogan or Rodrigo. I think Gundogan is playing in an advanced position. I think out of Saliba, Gundogan and Rodrigo, if I was going to bring any of the players into my team, I'd possibly say Gundogan. But as we can see, Rodrigo's smashing it. He's, you know, expected assists 1.19. Where's Gundogan on this list? He's down here, 0.3. So, you know, much less. Expected goals. Zaha. Honestly, I watched the highlights for the Zaha game, for the Crystal Palace game. Is Zaha becoming the player that we know he can always be, the one who burns us every single season? Or is this another trap like it's been before? You're a Leeds fan. Oh my God, mate, my eyes. Honestly, you can see I wear glasses. Yeah, I'm watching it on a slightly smaller screen over there, mate. I do apologise. I do apologise. What do you think? Do you think his army should go for Rodrigo? Are we all sleeping on him? And you went to the Chelsea game today as well, mate. Nice one. Nice one. One of those games you'll never forget, I reckon. Games like that. Happy days, mate. Smoke me little cheeky vape. Smoke is bad for you. I'm now 8 months given up on one of these cheeky little vapes. Yeah, brilliant. So, I'd almost be tempted to go for Zaha. How much money have you got as army? Right, let's have a little talk about some of the games then, and let's talk. I want to go and look at some of these players and see, because I've made a few notes. So if you've got any sort of like feedback as we're going through, that'd be great. So I've looked first to start off with the Spurs game, Spurs v Wolves. Kane got his goal, but again, if we're looking at Harry Kane as a major player, how many points did he get? Let's have a look. Let's go into points. Let's go into. I never really used the stats on here. Let's have a look at the stats on here for the weekend. Can we see for the week? Let's go for the week. Spurs game. Harry Kane. Is he a better choice over Erling Haaland at this moment in time? Is he the best choice to be having in the forward line? Let's have a look. See who's been performing. Let's just go for this. The first 3 game weeks per 90 minutes. Hide the low minutes players. Who's... Oh, what? Why does it do that? Did that to me before. Let's just go totals. Is it because I'm hiding the low minutes players? Yes, it is, because everybody's on low minutes. They start the season, I would imagine. Right, let's go per 90 minutes. So, expected assists. Which forwards are doing it? So, see, Darwin, before he got... See, he will be somebody I want to bring back. And I suppose maybe I should be a little bit more... sort of like... I do want to bring him back in, but I just can't wait another 2 weeks. Like, we sat on the bench with £2 million sat in the bank. So, I feel like I need to go and do something with it. Perisic's in my watch list, but a bit worried when it comes to midweek game 5. He might be benched, and then he comes for a 1-pointer. See, I think it's going to be Sessegnon that's going to be playing those games. The midweek games. I certainly expect Sessegnon to be playing in the Carabao Cup this week, as Perisic gets a rest, ready for next weekend. Maybe we should be sitting. Have you got Instagram so I can send you my teammate? No, I haven't got Instagram. Maybe it's one for the future. I've got Twitter. FPL Livesey Lovesit. Matthew, you want to send it me through that, mate? 2.6 in the bank. Where's are we? Let's just see what it was. Your thoughts on Dalot? So it was Dalot to Saliba or Neto to Gundogan. So Neto's at 5.5s. Is he still, or has he dropped in price? To Gundogan, was he 7s? Oh, Rodrigo. Yeah, I do like an attacker. For me, when it comes to a defender, I certainly at the moment there's enough attacking fullbacks I think to be sort of targeting, and I think if you drop into a 4.5, then you want. Well, I suppose Saliba. He's looking like he's going to get some clean sheets, isn't he? I mean, you don't want the lot in your team. It's as simple as that. I'd say that for nothing. Maybe you want to drop to, if you're sticking to the 4.5, maybe Nico Williams is it a starter or is it a bench option? Yeah, will do. Going to send it me on Twitter, mate. Right, let's have a look. Let's get me Twitter. There I am, sat in my shed. Cheeky little thumbs up. All right. So I'm assuming it's going to come through as a message in a second. Keep an eye on that. Right, so this is my team for this week. This is how it's doing. This is the draft. And this is on Premier Fantasy Tools also. So I'm going to look, if I put in, Let's see if I do a transfer now. So let's take out Patterson. Replace with Perisic. How does that look for game week 5? Copy previous squad. Oh, see, I like to see it. Nico Williams benched. See, not so fixtures. These are the fixture difficulty rating. Got a few greens in there. I see, just copy passing over. No, not like that. Right. Anyway, recommended for you. Let's have a look. Direct messages. You already have Neto. You already have Nico. Okay. Well, I'm just about to get rid of Patterson myself, Izami. How many points have I got this week? Let's go and have a look at my points this week so far, mate. Is 40 points this week. That's so far. I've got the dreaded. I've got now, because I got rid of Salah and brought Nunes in on my wild card last week. Hoping that'll be a bit of cover. Then I've had to change him, so I'm a bit worried about what happens here. But I've sort of got to go with it and hope Salah doesn't do massively well against Man United like he's done previously as well. So let's go and have a look and see at budget defenders then. Let's go and have a look, see in the 4.5 sort of mark. But look, here's other people to keep an eye on. Haaland still expected assists, doing well. Expected goals right up there. And Ketia, when he's coming on, is looking good. Tell you what, Jesus yesterday, I still can't get over how he didn't get a haul. Disallowed goals all over, hitting the bar, just mental. All Kulusevski, but their points will come, I'm sure. Right, let's have a look and see these £4.5 million defenders. Let's have it all. Let's go post. You've got a bit in the bank. I'd be tempted with Zinchenko, to be honest with you. Let's go. Let's make it. What's that? Oh, that's opposition strength. No one does. Game week range. Price. Let's go to 5.5 so we can have a look and see what's going on here. So let's have a look at the expected assists. Who's Richard? Who's Richard? I had Saliba this week. FPL Penguin, mate. I'm well happy for you. Then he swore then, yeah. Absolutely. I bet when that goal went in, you celebrated, didn't you? Very nice for Tony and the team. Beating you by 1, Matt. Oh, mate, it's early days. Have you sent your team over? Message request. Maybe that's what I need to do. Oh, my dear. Dawn Riley. Don't know any of these. Jamie Olsen. July, August. No. So, I haven't received your team yet, Matt. So, I've seen some really poor scores. I don't know if you were just on a minute ago. I'll just show you. I was just looking at this before on reviewing our league. And if you're not a member, then the link is in the description below. In our league, and there's like 20 people in it. Highest scores 50 this week. 46, 41, 41, 40. So some really like top players down here, you know, in this sort of like area down here. Nobody's scoring above 50 so far. But like I say, there is that Salah captaincy to go. Peter, welcome, mate. My defence is Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Cucurella, Cancelo and Gabriello. Should I keep it like that? Shite week. It has been, hasn't it, Al, to be fair? Should you keep it like that? If you're happy with that, I think we've all gone big at the back this season, haven't we? It's as simple as that. We have, because there's such value in defence. I think we're all not struggling, but I think FPL's different this season. The prices, I mean, let's look at my team now. Never have I and my team had all these players from all the like sort of top teams that are sort of challenging for the league, for Champions League places. I mean, up until last week, I had Darwin in here, and then it was just a choice between all my bench. And they're all playing as well. I've got two 4.5 million players playing. I've got two £4 million players playing. I've got a £4 million keeper. Okay, he's not delivering, and we're going to look to change. We're going to change him at some point in the near future, but. He's just, it's madness. We've got one or two players from these teams, and we're tripling up on them because we're almost falling over ourselves which ones we're going to be putting in our teams. And as you can see, how that's happened, what that's done this week, you look at the team of the week, it's like, there's who's got these players? I mean, some people have, like Saliba, excellent stuff for you, Penguin, mate. I'll have a look at your team in a second, Matt. Nice one, mate. But who's got these players? Bernardo, St. Maximin, Rodrigo, Harrison. What's the ownership here? 1.7%. St. Maximin, 6.2. Saliba, I reckon there's maybe 8 or 9. 7, just under. Shea Adams, wow, I tell you what, a couple of great goals from him. Over bicycle kick, 0.6%. If you had Shea Adams this week, well done you. Brennan Johnson off the line as well. And Odegaard, all of a sudden catching up with all his teammates with a couple of goals. Stealing one, by the way, off Jesus' foot. And I'm mad about that. I don't know about you. Right, let's have a look. So, Peter, my defence is Reece James, Trent. So there's a lot of money. It depends if you want to move it into the rest of your team, mate, I suppose. And go looking for some of the bargain defenders. So let's go and drop this back now to what we said we were going to do. We're going to go at the 5.5. Saliba's done well so far. Expected goals, because I'm looking for attacking returns. We can change the stats actually to, let's go and set it to defending. Defensive stats. What does S stand for? It's not shots. Shots conceded. See, Nico Williams going to be conceded 61 shots. So Notts Forest are conceding the most shots in total. Expected goals conceded. Goals conceded. Oh, so Leicester. See, this is my goalkeeper. Now there was a comment on it. I can't quite see it on there. What did he say? Beating me by one. What did he say about? Somebody did say something about benched Harris. Looks like he's going to go. Rodrigo looks like he's going to score every time he gets the ball from Matt Lovell, Leeds United fans. So how much is Rodrigo? Everyone, sign him. Awesome, mate. Great for that feedback. Thanks very much. Maybe he's a consideration. Maybe one of these 4.5s. I don't think the Silver's going to do it for, he's a good bench option. There's no two ways about it. I don't think he's going to be, somebody we're going to be having in our teams. Absolutely smashing it. Is he one of those players that's now delivered? Or is and like we've missed the boat and we should be looking at the next big thing? Or should we be jumping on him before it's too late and he's like outpriced and been... and we've been I'm just laughing now because I've just seen, what about Dele Alli as a secret weapon? I don't think so, mate, not even for the watch list. I don't know if you've been watching football this season, but he's not been playing and it looks like he's off to Besiktas. But yeah, great question there from number one fan Al Swiffen. So where was I? Looking at defenders under £5.5 million. Shots. That's defensive stats. Let's have a look. Let's go back to the key stats. Who's getting the shots away? Who looks like they're going to be scoring? Nico Williams, Dan Burn, Diego Carlos before he got injured. Cucurella, so it's worth having. Not seeing any of those big names in here. Expected goals. Let's have a look and see this. Sessegnon, Williams, Dalot, me, Walker. Thing is, we're still only 3 weeks in, and I think if we've gone for lots of big at the back, unless you're wild carding, then I think maybe you need to sort of go with what you've gone with almost, or unless you're going to roll a free transfer, then you can change it around with the two next week. I think loads and loads of hits at this stage of the season. Can be good for team value, but it's not the best for consistency, because this whoever's, you know, it's just that bit where everything's settling down. I mean, look how good Newcastle looked today. Nobody expected them to be scoring 3 goals against City, did they? I mean, I certainly didn't. Expected assists, Perisic right up there, Nico Williams, Aït-Nouri, Cucurella, so he's looking good already. Zinchenko, Henry, Thierry Henry, Strike. See what I mean? It's all over the place. It's still settling down. And Saliba hasn't, you know, like I said, that goal, that's his expected goal so far 0.16 is 0.04. So if you bring Saliba in, I think it's for the clean sheets. Let's have a look. Rodrigo last season and the season before was very insistent. Hopefully this season he can keep it up. Yes, mate. Maybe with Rafinha not in the team, it's his time to sort of step up. Is he playing in a more advanced role? I think he's somebody definitely to go on the watch list anyway. All right, let's have a look. What do you think of El Neni, Mount, Diaz, Rodrigo, Diaz and Saliba? -4. El Neni, Mount hasn't really done very much, has he? Diaz, I think as long as you've got a Man City defender in there, because Diaz is going to bring home the clean sheets, just because he hasn't this week. I think, you know, as long as you've got one defender in there, I'm assuming a lot of people have got Cancelo in their team. But Rodrigo, as we've just heard, is doing fantastic. Diaz, I'd like to have in my team. You're very welcome, Peter. Diaz, I would like to have in my team. I ummed and ahed over him and Darwin, so I think he's, you know, I think he's a great pick. For Liverpool, if I'm totally honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he, you know, if he got a goal or two even tomorrow night. And Saliba, I think we've talked about him already. I think he's good if it's the clean sheets and bonus that you want to go for. Trippier's starting to look like a steal. I can't disagree with you. Let's have a little chat about Newcastle then, shall we? Because Newcastle were awesome today. Let's see if we can bring up Newcastle. Can we do that? Search player or team. Let's just put in Newcastle. Let's bring up all their players, shall we? So top of the tree at Newcastle. So lots of players looking to steal. Can't disagree with you there, Al. 20 points he's secured so far, and they've just played Man City. Matt, yeah, I'll come and look at your team in a minute, my friend. So Trippier, expected assists 0.12. Expected goals 0.02. So is this for every game? Oh, per 90 minutes. Let's have a look, per 90 minutes. Longstaff's the one. So Trippier 0.606. So it's not looking like he's going to be getting many assists, to be honest. Obviously, he's scored already, but his expected goals are at 0.01. So he scored a cracker, didn't he? What's he got? Trippier, yeah, 1 goal. Why'd you say that, Al? Is it just I've not watched loads of Newcastle. I was in and out of the game today, in all honesty. Thanks for your info. No worries. Thank you for your advice, his army. Time to make the decision for the price rise. Oh, go for it. Good luck. Let us know what you do. Join the league, like I say. We can review your team, see if you get team of the week next week. When you look at my team. Right, let's have a look, mate. Have you sent me the team messages? Here we go, mate. Let's have a look then. Let's bring your team up on screen. Accept. By all means, anybody else wants to do this, not a problem at all. So we've got Sanchez in goal, 8 points. See, I do need to look at a keeper, and I think that's me for next week. Okay, Al. So Trippier's on free kicks and corners. He's going to. He reckons he'll pick up plenty of assists and the odd free kick as well. To be honest, I think they've got some clean sheets as well. They've got great fixtures coming up Newcastle shortly, so we can have a look at that in a moment. Cancelo 0 points and Nico Williams. You had him as a starting player. Harrison on the bench, mate. You never know. Alexander Arnold might be rested tomorrow, might get injured, and he can come in for you. That'll be like a dream for you, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. Proper differential there. Salah, you got Salah captaincy, mate. You could still finish on plus 60 points here. I won't worry, the week's not over, I don't think, if you've still got a captain to play tomorrow night. Absolutely not. I think you'll end up on more points than me, if I'm going to be totally honest, with only Alexander Arnold to play. So, well done. Looks like you're going to have a good week, mate. Welbeck, I think that's a good choice. 6.5 as well. Kulusevski, Martinelli, Zinchenko. Okay, mate. Absolute. Happy days. Who are you thinking of transfer? Have you got any ideas for your transfers yet? Bench Trippier for Patterson. Couldn't keep a clean sheet in the last 10 minutes. No, mate. Tell me about it. I was absolutely mortified. I thought it was the one for us Evertonians. I thought we were going to keep a clean sheet, Nottingham Forest. But for me, that is Patterson out of my team. I've sort of flown the flag. I think he's a possibility again for the future. But I think I just need to bring in a value defender. I'm going 4 at the back with I think Perisic or Zinchenko. Possibly Trippier, listening to what's going on here. No clue, mate. Who would you advise? Who would I advise to take out this week? Well, Zinchenko's somebody I'm considering to bring in. Sanchez, like I say, I'm not happy with my keeper in Danny Ward. So, you know, you've got Sanchez. So he's obviously got an 8-pointer for you this week. And Brighton, you know, they've got some good fixtures coming up. Let's have a look at their fixtures. Defensive, I think Brighton, yep, they're 5th. That's over the next 8 game weeks. So nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Cancelo and Alexander Arnold, for me, they just speak for themselves. They're going nowhere. Nico Williams, I'd say you may well get the odd clean sheet at home, but I wouldn't be playing him away from home at this moment in time, maybe. But he is looking as attacking as any of the defensive options out there. It's whether the attackers can get on the end of him, I suppose. But he's shooting, he's having more shots than anybody. I think he's a great player to still have in your team, and I certainly wouldn't be looking to get rid of him at £4 million. He's a fantastic option, I think, to be coming in for anybody. And if you haven't got him, I think it's somebody you should consider possibly for your team to free up funds for elsewhere, unless you are intent on going 5 at the back and want to play him week in, week out. But he's certainly good for rotation and great as a first sort of like bench option also. Paul Jones thinking Dunk, mate. Well, welcome, mate. Nice to have some league members on. Happy days. What about Dunk, mate? Give us a clue. Salah, I mean, for me, let's see how he does this week. He's not in my team, but he's in most teams, so I won't go there. I've got De Bruyne because I just think he can match him this season and gives me an extra £1 million. Kulusevski, I've got him as well. Martinelli, I've got him as well. Jesus going nowhere. Haaland going nowhere. And I think Welbeck's a great option for 6.5. How much have you got in the bank? Maybe Welbeck's an option for improvement for somebody like Wilson, because they have got some great fixtures. Liverpool's a tough one coming up in game week 5, but maybe Wilson, who's looking as sharp as anything, up at Newcastle. Maybe Tony, he's got some good fixtures moving on as well. So, but are you moving him on for moving him on's sake? Next week you've got Harrison, who you're starting, Sanchez and Welbeck, who I start. So I'm going to stick you out. I want Harrison to score, but Sanchez to keep a clean sheet. No, mate, nothing worse when you've got strikers and defenders like against each other. Who to replace Ake with? 2.2 in the bank. How much is Ake worth? Let's have a look, mate. Let's have a look. How much is Ake worth? Almiron, by the way, £5 million. Scoring for fun mid-season. Expected goals 0.63. Expected assists 0.19. Is he a good £5 million option for Neto to go to? Or what about Wissa? Managed to get an assist. some great players that have come. This, by the way, isn't going the way I sort of thought it would, but that's fine. I'm really enjoying it. I thought you were talking to Fenders again. He's got a goal and Brighton look good. Okay, mate, dunk it. What's he? Is he appearing on these sort of stats here? Let's bring it back out of Newcastle. Back onto defenders. It seems to be lots of us looking at defenders this week. So, okay, let's go back to my team here. It's quite easier to find information, I think. Been clicking on this one forever. Points. Let's go transfers. Let's make that slightly wider. That's it. Let's get this down the side. And let's search for Ake. £5 million Ake. Right, okay, mate. Who to replace him with? 2.2 and about. Well, for me, instantly, I would say Ivan Perisic. That would be the player that has stood out for me. He's the player I had in my team at the beginning of the season. I took him out in my wild card, and he's come back in and smashed it with 12 points this week with an assist and bonus. So he'd be the one for me that I would go straight for. But then Zinchenko is equally looking good. Depends who's in your defence. If you don't have any Spurs or Arsenal, like Ramsdale in goal or anything like that, I think it's pretty even. And as I've pointed out as well, other people are choosing players like Trippier's looking good on set pieces, things like that as well. Is Perisic nailed now? I don't think we can say he's nailed. For me, I think Sessegnon starts midweek in the Carabao Cup, which starts Perisic. I think he's nailed enough to go for if you've got bench options, as in Nico Williams, to come in as a replacement. I think that's quite a safe sort of like option, with Reece James, Cancelo, Alexander-Arnold. If you've got the rest of your bench is starting, I don't think it's that bad. Nico's showing he's going to be going for it. Like I say, when we see the stats, the expected big chances created, Perisic, if we go totals, the most is Perisic. He didn't even start the first game. Expected assists, Perisic, totals, expected goals, not looking like he's scoring, to be fair, per 90 minutes. Expected assists. Who's Richard? Don't know. Must be very low minutes, but it's hard at the moment because they hide the low minutes players, and it seems to hide everybody because it must be because it's the start of the season, which is quite annoying. A little bit of feedback for you there, Fantasy Football Hub, but I do love your site. Thank you very much for letting me use it in these streams. So let's take that back off. So yeah, expected assist, Perisic top, Nico Williams, 8 Nori at Wolves, but I wouldn't want to be going for Wolves, to be honest with you. Although expected goals is looking quite good as well. Nico Williams, man, I tell you what, look at those stats, 8 shots, that's amazing. That's amazing. And he looks like he could be the assist man. Could be getting one a game, 2 assists already. 2 in 2 games. So for me, Perisic is the one. Zinchenko's here. Big chances created, 1. He's had 1 assist. Not a massive goal scorer, as I seem to remember, for Man City. I think he'll be shooting. So yeah, for me, it's at this moment in time. If you want to do it tonight, it's Perisic. James playing third centre back's not ideal. It's not, mate, but he played there last week and he banged one in and his position. Let's go and see Reece James's position, where he's playing, because I think this idea that Reece James is playing and he's now just going to be a defender is one that's sort of It has you worried a little bit more. You think he's not going to be marauding down the wing. But when I saw him play, and I have to say this was last week, I didn't get to see much of the game today. He was sort of like positioned on the where he scored from for lots of the game, almost waiting for that ball to come out. And I almost feel like that's a tactic because they know that he can whack him in from there, can't he? Let's go and see his heat map for the games so far this season. If I go to Sofa Score. Bear with me on this one. Callers. I do like a bit of a Sofa Score for non-FPL related, just standard football sort of things. And we type in... There we go. Let's have a look. So let's look at the season so far. So Premier League, here we go. That's his season so far. Mostly spent in this attacking third here. This is where I saw him. I see him keep cropping up just here, waiting to hit that ball. So he's playing. I mean, if you were to see that, you'd almost think that maybe he was a, you know, if this is a right centre back, can we get just this last game? Can I get just this last game? Season heat map, Premier League. I'm sure I can. I don't know quite how to do it straight from the back, to be honest with you. Yeah, no, I don't know quite how to get it. I mean, how does that differ to last season? That was his last season. You can see he was all over this right wing, I suppose, hugging the touch line. I just think his stats last season were amazing, absolutely amazing. In terms of like expected goals per 90 minutes, he just didn't manage to get many games, did he? Due to injury, etc. Let's have a look. Is Perisic nailed now? So Zinchenko to Patterson. So you've got Zinchenko, Trent, Ake, Patterson, and Nico. So for me, Ake, Cancelo. For me, I've got to have Cancelo in my team. I just see he is an attacking fullback and as good as anybody. But if you're wanting to save some of that money, I know you got 2.2 in the bank. I'm assuming he's not going to. Yeah, you can afford him for that. Maybe one of the I'd Perisic or Trippier. Dunk possibly suggested by. Other like people watching the video. JJ, too early to play wildcard, too early to catch bandwagon. I'm on 174 points. I don't think it's too early to use a wildcard. I used mine last week. I don't think there's a good or bad time. I think it's when you realise I want to make a number of transfers and actually I don't want to take a hit and I feel like I'm behind. I think that's the time to take it. It's different for everybody. Certainly this season when we've got like an extra one in game week 16 as well. So that's all good. Right, I'm just going to go through and have a quick look at some of my notes today. Share what I've sort of like seen and players to keep an eye on. It's good to see Pereira on set pieces for Fulham. I think possibly he is somebody that could be a starter. More so, certainly moving up my bench. He was last on my bench this week due to the possibility of a knock. But the way he's playing this week, he's already looking at being first on my bench. I'm going to do my bus team shortly, so the team that I sort of start this week with. And Mitrovic coming in with a winner as well, so Fulham not looking like the whipping boys that I think most of us imagined they would be. Marco Silva at the helm. So I think that he's done well there. Wiss has got an assist, so there's a Neto alternative sort of showing up there. He looked like he did well second half of last season, so somebody to keep an eye on there anyway. De Silva was taken off 74 minutes, so not pulling up branches. I'm just going to have a quick sip of this cold coffee. Arsenal, let's just put my team back on here, so we'll just not start looking at fixed difficulties. Arsenal, well, what can we say about Arsenal? Just looking absolutely phenomenal and like they could be, I know it's early, but looking like they could be challenging right at the top end of the league this season with the way they're playing and the belief that is going through that team. I'm just seeing some fantastic, I've seen some fantastic football from over the course of the last few weeks, some teams, and I think there's a shift change in teams. I think it could take us 6-8 weeks to sort of like realise which teams are going to be sort of challenging up there. Newcastle looking really good, Fulham where they shouldn't be in my opinion, Leicester dropping off, Wolves, what's going to happen with them? Aston Villa, looking good last season. What's going on there? Everton, are we in a relegation battle again? 1 point against newly promoted Forest at home. So lots and lots of settling down in the league to do. And I think come game week 8, once that international break comes on, we'll have a really good idea moving forward. So maybe it is too early to use the wild card, but I've used mine. Like I say, Zinchenko's looking boss. Bournemouth, I've just got ... next to them. I can't see them doing very much. And there's nobody there that makes me want to... Well, I've written nothing about them, which just says it all, doesn't it? Palace, I've talked about Zaha already on this stream. He is looking good and his finish is assured. His link-up play, some of the touches he's playing are sublime. He's got 11 goals in his last 16 Premier League appearances, if you go back to last season. So maybe under Vieira, Zaha is going to become that player that, everybody thought he could become, properly, not just knocking on the door and almost doing it. Maybe he is going to become that top player. I think we all think he could be, when he was at Man United. He looks in the form of his life, to me anyway. So he's certainly in my consideration for watch list. What else have I noticed down? Damari Gray looks like the most player to score at Everton, another 5.5. Gordon, I think his goal's going to come in the next week or two. If you've got hold of him, maybe hold on to him for the next 2 weeks. But they are away. But certainly after that, I won't be having any Everton players in my team, unfortunately. Sad to say, but that seems to be the case. He's not been quite at the races, Gordon, though, to be honest with you. Almiron, I just think at £5 million, if that's a price that you're wanting to play at, he could be quite good for your team, possibly. The way, a cheeky way to buy into that. Maybe under Eddie Howe, he's going to come well. Certainly one for the watch list anyway. And Wilson, if you're in need of a striker this week, Tony, Wilson, £7.5 million strikers. I think, you can't go wrong with either of them at the moment. And obviously Trippier's scored today, so he could be an absolute steal. And then Bernardo Silva coming in for Man City, absolutely just showing everybody that it's so difficult to predict which Man City players are A, going to play, B, come home with the points on a weekly basis. I'm glad to have seen Kevin De Bruyne got in on the act. I think the only ones you can guarantee, and this is why I've gone for them, correct me if I'm wrong, the only players you can guarantee starting for Man City are Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne and Cancelo at this minute in time. Certainly FPL assets, Ruben Dias, Ederson possibly as well. Brain over heart, mate. Yeah, I often go brain over heart. Heart over brain, that's something I need to work on. I did it at the weekend. I jumped on Jesus as a captain last minute. I got worried that everybody else was going to captain him who wasn't on Salah and bring home loads of points, and I'd get left behind a little bit. So a little bit of fear there. So a learning for me, I think, for next week. I'm going to make my choice the day before the deadline of my captain, and I am not going to change it. And I'm going to see if I can try and do that for the rest of the season, and if it makes a better impact, unless we get any sort of like late sort of feedback. Yeah, that's my sort of list for some notes from the week, to be honest with you, from the weekend. Like I say, I haven't had a chance to watch any of the highlights from today. But that's sort of like it from me, I think, guys, unless anybody else has got any questions. How many points are you on altogether, mate? Matt, let's have a look. I'll show you now, mate. I am on... let's go back to this one. Points, I'm on... Well, let's just go into the live FPL. So 170 points at total so far. 9 off the 1 million. Twice last weekend and once this weekend I was 1 point off the top million, which obviously I want to get much higher than that, but I see lots of people struggling to get a rank at this early stage of the season. Really experienced players as well, so very interesting times in FPL. We wanted it to be a little bit more challenging, and it appears to be that way. right, that's it. That's me out of here, guys. I'm going to be making some more videos this week. I'll be doing the league update where we'll look and see who did have the best team of the week following tomorrow night's game. That'll be coming out. I'll put my team selection out, which I maybe have some more information on my transfer that I'm going to be doing, and maybe following this, a couple of bits of advice out there. Maybe I'll do a little cheeky watch list video for players that I'm watching, transfers that are good for possibly the next few weeks moving forward. So like the video if you've managed to get to the end. Do a subscription. I'm 161. Is that bad? And can I bring it back? Haha, mate. Of course, mate. It is game week 3. Absolutely, you can bring it back. You've got, like I say, tomorrow night. You could overtake me tomorrow night, mate. I think when we get to game week, sort of between sort of 6 and 10, as things start to settle down. When you get to game week 10, that's when the ranks start to sort of come together a little bit and it's harder to jump. But as you can see, I'm 9 off Wimbledon. I'm 45 points off the top 10k. It's not a million miles away, and there's lots of people use their triple captain early, lots of people use their bench boost early, lots of beginners luck out there as well, which, you know, obviously won't carry on for the whole season for people, the odd one here and there. When's the next live? I don't know, mate, to be honest with you. I possibly thinking of doing one following the game tomorrow night, Liverpool versus United. Maybe I'm possibly thinking of doing a final thoughts one at the end of the week where I do like a live leave update and whoever's top of the league and look at team of the week for that week during that. But I haven't decided on that yet, so we shall see. Subscribe, hit the notifications button and it'll pop up and let you know, mate. Anyway, lovely to have some new people on the stream tonight. Great, thanks for asking questions. That's what I want to be here for, where we can all work together. Like I say, this is the first time doing this one on a Sunday night, and hopefully it gets better and better as the season